right, everybody, the time has come for the third in my top 3 reads of 2023. I want to talk to you a little bit about this book, The Final Strife by Saara El-Arifi. Now, the other 2 books, Tress of the Emerald Sea and The Adventures of Amina al-Safari, are both pretty well talked about. They have ended up on a lot of people's best lists for this past year. But not enough people are talking about The Final Strife and the series that it's a part of. It's the first book in a series, and it is set in an empire where there are basically 3 castes of people. You have embers. Embers have red blood, because blood color is the thing that determines where you are in this system. And embers with their red blood color are the leaders in this society. They're the ones with all the authority, all the leadership positions, and the basic reason why they hold these authoritarian positions is because they are supposedly the only ones with magic. They can work magic with their blood. It's called blood work, W-E-R-K. And so their ability to do this magic puts them at the top of the social food chain. Next come the dusters, and the dusters bleed blue. And they're the worker caste. If you have watched Babylon 5, you know the kind of thing that I mean. They do most of the menial, the blue-collar labor type jobs. And then you have the ghostings. This is your slave caste. When a ghosting child is born, their hands are cut off and their tongue is cut out to prevent them from communication. Now, the ghostings are supposedly, according to the book that everybody's read in this society, according to just what everyone believes, the ghostings are being punished for an ancient rebellion in which a lot of lives were lost. So, because of this act long ago, everyone whose blood bleeds clear, because the ghosting's blood is clear-colored, everyone whose blood bleeds clear has to be punished, has to pay for the sins of their forefathers with enslavement and having their hands cut off and tongue cut out. So, this society, within the society, we follow 3 main female characters. There is Scylla, and Scylla is the one whose picture is on the cover of the first book. Scylla is an ember who's been raised by dusters. She was part of a rebellion project, the Duster Rebellion, called the Sandstorm. And this rebellion was kicked off, or this move toward rebellion was kicked off when a group of Duster servants switched their babies with the babies of the Ember families they worked for. So you have a situation where you have a group of Embers who are being raised by Dusters to believe that this rebellion is right and to believe in the eventual extermination of all Embers, despite the fact that they are Embers. And then you have these Duster children who are left in the care of the Embers. Most of them are killed as soon as their parents realize the switch was made. But there is one who was allowed to live and who was raised not because of any kind of love or affection, but just because her, quote, adopted mother thinks it would be too risky to her political career to have the child killed. So this is Anur. Anur is a Duster girl raised by Embers. And she's actually my favorite character. She's such a little nerd, and she is also so very kind. She's the kindest character in the story, despite the fact that she was raised with virtually no love or affection whatsoever. And then you have Hassa. She is our ghosting heroine. She's kind of a wild card in this book. We don't really learn as much about her as we do the other two. She starts to shine in the second book, The Battle Drum, which I'm already in the midst of reading. So that'll give you an idea of how much I enjoyed the first book, that I'm already on to the second, even though I read the first book back in December. Usually it takes a little bit longer for me to get to the sequels. But the main core of the plot of this particular book involves the developing enemies to lovers relationship between Scylla and Anur. And it is a very slow burn kind of relationship, as Scylla is essentially blackmailed into training Anur to participate in this competition that determines fitness to rule. Of course, only embers or supposed embers are allowed to enter. And the fact that Anur is actually a duster is not generally known. In fact, it's very much a secret, known only by the few who are closest to that family. So, as their relationship develops and as they learn about each other's worlds and environments, they start to examine the system, they start to question the system, and eventually they uncover some secrets about the system that reveal basically the entire thing is built on lies. So I'm not going to tell you what those lies are, because that would be spoiling, and I actually want you to read the books. So not going to give too much away, except that I really do enjoy the character dynamics. I like all three of the characters, and I'm very interested to see what happens to them next. So all three of my favorite reads of 2023 involve kick butt women. And there are a lot of different ways to kick butt. It doesn't just mean fighting. I read just this morning a bit of a debate about why the movie Madam Web flopped at the box office. Because it was bad. And a lot of people on a particular social media thread I was in were talking about how that this movie flopped and the Marvels flopped before it. All this just serves as evidence that, women really don't want to see action adventure. They don't want to read or view science fiction fantasy. So let's just stop trying to appeal to them. Let's just stop this nonsense about female representation and go back to creating stories where the main hero is male, and the women are only seen in relation to him. Well, I don't know whether or not that's true where movies are concerned or television shows are concerned, but I do know that in print fiction, good female representation gets its reward. We do want to read stories like this. And thankfully, most publishers know and understand that we want stories like this, that we want characters like this. So whatever happens in the movies, well, we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm glad to see that there are plenty of books upcoming that I can enjoy that have these kinds of characters who are strong in a multitude of ways. So thank you very much. I'll be back with another Geek Out subject very soon.